Subtraction is the opposite of addition. Here are some addition facts. 12 plus 5 is equal to 17. 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. 4 plus 6 is equal to 10. 7 plus 1 is equal to 8. And 8 plus 9 is equal to 17. Now let's find 10 minus 4, using the fact that subtraction is the opposite of addition. So we're going to need for the sum of one of the addition facts to be 10 and one of the numbers being added to be 4. And where we see that is on the third line. Here is 10 as a sum and one of the numbers being added as 4. The other number being added is 6, so 10 minus 4 is equal to 6. Let's find now 8 minus 5. So we want the sum to be 8. So that could be either the second row or the fourth row. But we also want one of the numbers to be added to be 5. Out of the second and the fourth row, the only one that has one of the numbers being added 5 is the second row. So we have to use the second row for this. And here's the 8 of the sum, and here's 5 of the number being added, and the other number being added is 3. So 8 minus 5 is equal to 3. Now let's do 17 minus 8. So we want the sum to be 17. So we may think that could either be the first row or the last row, but one of the numbers being added has to be 8. So we have to use the last row because the first row does not have one of the numbers being added being 8. So here is the 17 sum. Here's the 8, one of the numbers being added, and the other number being added is 9, so 17 minus 8 is equal to 9. Let's again use this fact that subtraction is the opposite of addition. Here are the rules for adding. For addition, any number plus a positive number is greater than the original number. For example, if we get 5 marbles and we add 3 marbles to it, we end up with more marbles than we started out with. We end up with 8 marbles instead of 5 marbles because we added to the pile. Another way to visualize this is through the number line. Suppose I have my marker at 5 and I move it forward 3 spaces. I end up at a place more right than the original place that I started out with. So I end up at a place greater than I started out with. 8 is greater than 5. Any number plus a negative number is less than that original number. For example, if I have 5 marbles and I add negative 3 marbles to it, I'm actually taking away 3 marbles. I explained in a previous set of videos that plus minus really means plus. I explained that in a set of videos about adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers, and hopefully the link for that set of videos is in the description of this video. But anyway, when I have 5 marbles and I add negative 3 marbles, I'm taking away 3 marbles. So that means I have 5 marbles, I'm taking away 3 marbles, and I'm left with 2 marbles. I am left with a number less than I originally started out with because I took away from it. Another way to visualize this is through the number line. Suppose that I start at 5. If I add a negative number, I'm moving the marker towards negative infinity. I'm moving it left. I explained why this is the case in a previous set of videos called Adding and Subtracting Positive and Negative Numbers. And hopefully the link for that set of videos is in the description of this video. But anyway, I'm moving the marker left, so that means I end up at a place less than I originally started out with. I end up at 2, which is less than 5. Any number plus 0 is the any number. I explained why this is the case in the last video for my first set of videos, which is about why a plus b is equal to b plus a. The idea that any number plus 0 is equal to that any number is called the additive identity of 0. So what this really means is that in the first bullet, If I add a positive number, I do not get the original number. I get something greater than it. In the second bullet, if I add a negative number, I do not also get the original number. I get something less than it. However, if I add 0, I get the original number exactly. So now we have all the rules for adding real numbers to any number. Using these facts, now let's find any number minus that number. We cannot use the first bullet because we do not end up with A. We end up with a number greater than A. We cannot use the second bullet. We end up with a number less than A. We do not end up with A. We can only use the third bullet because we end up with A. So here is the sum of A, and here is one of the numbers being added that is A. Now we need to have both of these to find A minus A, because the first A and A minus A is the sum of A, and the second A and A minus A is an A being added to something else. Now the other number being added is 0, so A minus A is equal to 0. Thank you for watching this video. Here's a link to the playlist about some properties of 0 in which this video is a part of. Feel free to click on this link.